Okay, well, putter fitting, like most other fittings, the first point of reference is always the current club that the player's got. So we'll put each player through their paces with their own putter so that we can ascertain how suitable that is from an aim point of view, the head design to match their stroke type, where they hit the ball on the putter for consistent ball roll. And then obviously use that data, explain that through to the player so that we can ascertain or make sure that they're comfortable knowing why we're possibly going to suggest something different. Key ones for us is the player's aim. The ability to aim the putter at the beginning of the stroke, and obviously impact is vital. 1 degree over 8 feet, it will likely miss the hole. So we want to try and make sure that the player can aim as consistently as possible, because it's the starting point of the stroke. If you can't aim properly, it's very difficult to have a repetitive, consistent stroke. It's all about consistency, really. Most people, unfortunately, don't hit the middle of the putter as often as they'd like to. So the higher moment of inertia, mallet-style putters tend to help people manage their miss-hits. A miss-hit off the toe or the heel will change the face angle at impact quite dramatically.
My problems with putting were mainly alignment-based. I struggled a lot with shorter putts, not necessarily feeling I was actually aimed at the target, so I'd line the ball up and then I'd come back and I'd be like, no, that doesn't look right, so I'd line the ball up again and again and again, and so to the point I was just going, I think it's right, so I'll hit it.
Mark's very consistent. He's a low handicapper, very consistent stroke. His blade style putter, though suited him from an impact location point of view, is extremely consistent with his impact location. He struggled to aim it consistently. He had a slight variance in the face aim at the moment of impact, which obviously gave him a little bit of a challenge in how his stroke was then going to manage it. The stroke type, again, lended itself to a little bit more of a face balance design, but he did very, very well with his blade putter.
I wasn't fitted for it, but I added extra weights on it to make it feel a bit heavier, because it's just like a bit of a heavier putter.
The classic off-the-shelf buy, I think, that one. Length of putter has a big influence on the player's sort of biomechanical position, and then the right length of putter will have a big influence on the amount of lie angle discrepancy you may see, and also a comfort point of view, and that can lend it or influence hand action through the ball.
I mean, I was a little bit surprised to start with, because I didn't realise how much of effect that actually had, because I had a 35-inch putter was my dad long legs, so going down to 34 meant I thought I'd gone down enough to feel a bit more comfortable.
I'd say Mark did very well with his blade style ping putter, but it didn't quite suit his straight back and through method, being a slight toe hang, which generally lends itself to a little bit more of an arc. So we started off with a number 1 wide, which is a blade style to suit the preference sort of behind the ball. It has a little less toe hang. Mark didn't feel quite so comfortable with the sound and the feel of that putter, so we moved on to a couple of mallet designs, the first one being the R-line in the Odyssey Works range, which again Mark liked but didn't quite like the sound. The insert sounded a bit firm to him. So we moved on finally to the EXO number 7, which has the white hot version of the of the micro hinge technology, which is by far the most popular insert on tour from a sound point of view. And the 7 style, with its more detailed alignment technology, really helped Mark's consistency in his alignment and gave him a much more safer base camp to work his stroke off.
And then we finally got to the 7, the EXO, which had the white hot insert rather than the other insert that we're using, and immediately I was like, this feels so much nicer.
Length was 33 inches, which suited Mark's stature much, much better. Mark had a very slight tendency to add loft at the moment of impact, so the only modification other than the length that we made was a slight decrease in loft from 3 degrees to 2, just to help him launch the ball that little lower with a little bit more natural topspin, so that his distance control can be a little bit more consistent. The consistency was markedly improved by the fact that he aimed only one side of incorrect rather than both sides. You know, his original putter, he had a tendency to aim both right and left.
Quotes that went round was golf's a game of misses, and if I can consistently go, okay, I'm always aiming slightly right every single time, I work on that and get myself back to where neutral. I'd rather be that than where I was with my ping putter, it was left and right, and well, there's going to be problems automatically there.
Yeah, I think I could honestly say I'm probably losing 5 shots around on the greens, not around them, on the greens, just by missing simple putts that you'd expect to make 9 out of 10 times.
Cameron's putter was an interesting case. Somehow it's ended up with nearly 6.5 degrees of loft on it. With a putter, 6.5 degrees of loft is an old traditional loft that we used to have back in the sort of late 80s and early 90s. But nowadays putters tend to have a lot less loft on. The 6 degrees for Cameron really resulted in some challenges with his distance control. He was launching the ball too much with it and creating too much backspin, which was leading to some distance control challenges.
I didn't have an inkling as to why loft was so important on a putter. I didn't think that would make that much of a difference, and it really was making a mess of the ball after I'd struck it.
He's got quite a long build of putter because of his height at 6'7". He obviously has a need for an extra length, but it did definitely feel light, and with the thick grip I think that was making a bit of a difference on there. The other issue with Cameron was a very common issue that we see with players where they don't hit the ball out of the middle of the putter, and his Scotty Cameron, being a blade style putter, really will sort of maximise the effect of those off-centre hits, so the putter's going to twist a lot more than if with a mallet-style putter.
Yeah, the fact that I was actually consistently hitting the ball probably an inch or so outside of the middle towards the toe, not something I picked up on when I'm standing above the ball and hitting it. I think it's there or thereabouts in the middle, but seeing that scientific sort of analysis of it to make sure that I'm consistently bad really was an eye-opener.
Well, the launch angle was affected by the 6 degrees of loft, and again, launching it at 4.5 degrees is way too high with a bit of backspin. That's going to make the ball bounce inconsistently, and when the ball's bouncing a lot in the initial part of the stroke, it's decelerating inconsistently, again leading to his distance control challenges. Well, based on his stroke type being relatively straight back and through again, we've gone for another number 7 style putter, but we've gone for the tank number 7. Just to help with that deceleration challenge that he has, the overall heavier weight of the putter, the heavier head, the heavier shaft, and the heavier, longer length of the 38-inch version really stabilised his stroke. The number 7 design, with its high moment of inertia, minimised that effect of the off-centre hits. The nice thing about the overall weight and the design of the putter, it actually helped his impact location straight away anyway.
Yeah, as soon as Mike fitted me with a decent sort of putter, a little bit heavier, a mallet style putter, transformation. Hitting balls with much more regularity in the middle of the putter and on a much better line.
A much better improvement in his aim. The mallet style putter, with its bigger surface area to have more linear alignment on for a right aimer such as Cameron, really brought his alignment down well below the sort of 1 degree that we're looking to try and get everyone underneath, which is just going to make a huge difference on those short putts.
Yeah, so now having the fitting means I'm a lot more confident. Looking down at that, I know where I'm aiming, it feels good, it sounds good. I'm so glad I've done a fitting. I think it's going to make a real difference.